As we get to our next guest, it was important to think about what's actually happening in the activation space. There is this thing called change.org that you might have heard about. Well, change.org is a petition platform, and actually it's been doing even more than that, really sparking some action by individuals to get involved in their favorite causes. And so I invited Justin Lyons with Change. Thanks, Justin, for coming.
Thanks
Good
a
to
lot,
see you.
yeah.
Justin, tell me about your job at Change.
Sure, absolutely. So my role is working with everyday individuals who have launched campaigns and petitions of national or international interest, and help them with public affairs activities, storytelling, email, social media, to really amplify their message and engage, ideally, hundreds of thousands of people in their work.
Change started when?
2007.
And I heard that there was a milestone that you just reached, maybe yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely. So recently announced 100 million users on the site. Wow. And really just an incredible time seeing this proof of concept, people participating in this virtuous cycle of engagement, and wherein people see that people are participating in victories, starting petitions, sharing petitions, and building campaigns that are actually winning. And so hopefully that's inspiring more individuals, not here in the States, not only in the States, but around the world for broader change.
Because you have expanded internationally. You've got offices
other
places.
Absolutely. 18 to 20 offices around the world. And our goal is really just to support everyday folks who have issues in their lives or have ideas and can come to change.org, use the platform, and build their own kind of experience for users, take them on a journey, and have a realistic call to action, and engage them in a number of different activities to move in favor of that change that they seek.
What's been, when I look at the change.org model, it's very effective in garnering a lot of attention with media as well, right? Because you need a little bit of that media to help potentially drive that.
Of course.
What have you seen really work when somebody's doing a petition like that?
I think a lot of it comes down to human interest stories and individuals starting campaigns, whether you're in Minneapolis or San Diego or New York City, someone sharing that human interest story that's compelling in terms of a narrative is attractive to media. And I think that part of it is sometimes a David versus Goliath sort of theme where in the past, and some cynicism exists today, people feel like I can't approach a congressman or congressperson, I can't approach the CEO of a major brand, but we're seeing on change.org that that's possible and people are winning, engaging with decision makers. And so what we want to see is a world where those barriers, that gap is closed, right? So decision makers, the people that are influencing everyday lives, and the people in the communities around the country, around the world, are working together in collaboration, not against each other.
Yeah, and I think that as you look at that between regular individual to the big brand, the big company, Change has helped bridge that. In addition, it seems though that Change is also expanding into some other things as well. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Exciting time ahead, obviously, with the presidential election in 2016. And so building a smaller team who will be focused on engaging voters in the process, allowing voters and everyday folks to connect with people in their neighborhoods and learn more about the issues of the day. We find that folks trust their neighbors, obviously. So opening those pathways for individuals to talk with each other. Beyond that, scaled support. So, the job that I have, as a former organizer, you always wanted to organize yourself out of a job. And so how do we offer more tools, more resources, and really deepen learning among everyday folks around social change and expand their impact? So those are two things that we're focused on at change.org and I think have massive potential for engagement.
I'm sure you get asked this a lot, so this might be an easy question, but are there some campaigns this year already that have just been really exciting to watch?
Sure, absolutely. I think one in particular is one I've had the fortune to work with. Ali Rezaian is the brother of Washington Post correspondent Jason Rezaian. He's been in prison in Iran for close to a year now, and Ali started a petition earlier this year, and in quick order, he was able to build tens of thousands of people in a campaign, and through that, starting that petition, he has now close to 500,000 people from more than 120 countries where he's able to raise awareness about the injustices that Jason is facing, but also mobilize people from around the world to take actions around pushing the Iranian authorities to hopefully release Jason. And so what we saw, which was really cool, was the Washington Post, his employer, Jason's employer, was now involved, and journalists from around the country, around the world, have shared and signed the petition asking for this change, and brought a number of other press freedom organizations to the campaign. And so that's what I think is really exciting is, again, one individual who has been able to engage a number of individuals around the country, but also organizations, companies, nonprofits in this work for broader impact.
Now, we mentioned the company side of this a little bit,
Sure.
but we were talking, consumer can go directly in that way. But are companies using the platform themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, a tremendous amount of potential there, I think. Even in the recent past, Taco Bell started a petition around the taco emoji being created. And I think that's come together, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're seeing brands use this as a platform to engage consumers and things that might be of interest to them. And we don't want folks to feel that Change.org is very much antagonistic in terms of solving problems, and certainly that's at its core, but a lot of opportunities for advancing ideas, engaging consumers and constituents in creative ways, and that's what I'm excited to be at MCON this week to talk to folks about what those possibilities could be, because I think there's endless potential ahead.
Yeah. When you think about where this is going, the petition platform or just change, and where does activism go from here? Because I feel like we've got social media, we've got platforms like yours, we've got all these, but what will happen, do you think, going forward?
Well, of course, activists will continue to do the great work that they're doing on the ground, but I think there's an interesting opportunity ahead and a lot of work that's being done to connect online organizing to offline organizing. Yeah. If you look at the issues of the day around police brutality, and people are using the petition platform to organize online, bring people from around the country into these efforts and push them offline, for greater action and continue the protest. So for us, I think, you don't have to be an activist to participate in social good. If you have an idea, if you have a problem, we want to empower everyday folks to take on those issues and build their capacities for change.
Now, Justin, you're going to be here for Cause for Design
Absolutely.
As well, which is the Friday event. Some of you may not know about this, but Cause for Design is an event for creative directors in the space.
Yeah.
And so you'll be talking about some of the campaign organizing as
absolutely.
well. Well, we're glad you're here. Thanks so much.
Thanks
Good to see you.
Talk to you soon.